Hey everybody, Adam here with Software Reviews, and in this video we're going to do something a little bit different because we're not going to be looking at a software per se, but we're going to be looking at some royalty-free image sites. As you build your online presence, you're going to need to have access to a lot of good quality images, and while you can create some images yourself if you're proficient with Photoshop or another online editing tool, it's really useful to have access to images that are professional pictures or drawings from others, but you must ensure that you have the rights to use them. You can't just go and take an image off somebody's blog or website and put it on your own site if you don't have the rights, because you could get into trouble, and there have been cases where people have been sued and it's cost them a lot of money. So I want to share with you some really great resources where you can find good quality images relatively safely. And the first one that we're over here at now, and I'm just going to drag this screen down a little bit so you can see the URL, is called Pixabay, pixabay.com. Now, I've actually created a free account. You don't need to create a free account, but it's going to save you the hassle of filling out captchas and forms when you try and access an image. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come over to this search bar and you'll want to type in something related to your topic. Now, if you do something really odd or unusual, then you might find that you can't find images. And oftentimes, if it's medical or something in that area, you may not be able to find something. But for most things, you should find something that you can use. So I live in Japan, so I'm just going to type in Japan and hit enter. And you see I've got images set here, and we'll see what we can find. So let's just let this open up. Now, these ones up here we can't use because these you actually have to purchase. But if we scroll down, we've got all of these really cool images. And look, these look beautiful. They're professional, they look cool, and it would be great to use some of these on our website if we had an article about Japan, about travel, or whatever. So let's just choose something. I quite like this one. So we can click on the image, first of all, and we can decide at what size we want to download it. So I can click on free download and I'll get these options and I'll get the size of the file. And this is a JPEG and this is an approximate file size. I find that for almost every use, the smallest one is more than enough. And that's really good because it's actually a small file size. If you have these big images which have, the file size is really, really large, and you add a bunch of them to your site, over time that can slow your website down, and that can have negative effects on a whole bunch of things, such as how your website appears in the search rankings. So let me just click on this and it will download automatically. And it says here, you don't have to give credit to the author, but it's a nice thing to do. So this image, if I bring this up again, you'll see that it's downloaded here. Now, what I recommend that you do is you go to a free resource called TinyPNG. Now, I know it's a JPEG file that we downloaded, but that doesn't really matter. And what you can do is you can drag and drop these images that you download, and you can actually have that potentially reduce the size of the file. So if you've got something that's maybe over 100, you may want to put it through TinyPNG, and there are other free resources out there that can do the same thing to try and get the image size down. Double check that it doesn't affect the quality too much, but it shouldn't. So let's come back here, and I'm just going to drag that up, and it might not reduce it that much. It's originally, so it didn't reduce it at all. So I'm gonna have to do another example to show you. But oftentimes, if this was say 150 and you ran it through this, you may get it below 100, and that's what you want to do. And sometimes it will reduce the file size by 10%. You download the reduced one and then you do again and again and again. And sometimes you can get it, the first time it will be 10%, then 7%, then 6%, until you can get it to under 100. So I'll come back to this when I download a different image, just close that one off to show you and see if we can get one that actually does work. Let's come back to Pixabay again. And you can see here we've got photos, we've got vector graphics, we've got illustrations, we've got videos. So let's click on illustrations and we'll do a search for, Japan with illustrations. We've got a nice little kind of sushi thing here. We've got a moon, we've got the Japan flag, we've got some cool little characters. So let's click on this sushi one, or sushi and sashimi, I should say. It's sashimi, it's not sushi. And I'm not quite sure why that got up the cherry blossom. So we'll click on the back browser and we'll try and do that again. Maybe I did the wrong way, I don't know. Let's try that again and let's see if it does work. Maybe it's, there we go, that's what I want. So similar kind of process. I'll choose, look, this is a really big file. This is going to probably be too big for my blog, but I'm going to download it anyway, just to show you. And then I'm going to run this through TinyPNG. So let's drag and drop the sushi one in there and see if that actually does affect the size. There we go. It's kind of taken its time to, there we go. It took a little while. So that's 638, way too big really. But just by running it through this, I've got it down to 145.2. So it's reduced the file size by 77%, which is a massive change. And if you were going to put a file this size on your website, it would be fine. But over time, it would put a lot of stress on your server and it would, you know, slow down your stuff. So now we've got 145.2. We've got it down to 137. So if I wanted to, I could, you know, try. I may not get that down to 100, but I can get it down to maybe 120 or something, which is a big difference from this. So that's Pixabay. You can get tons and tons of stuff, and you may find all of your needs are met on Pixabay. Another option is this one here. This is called Pexels, and I'm just going to bring that down again and show you. So pexels.com again, you can just use the free resource. You don't have to join. You can if you want, and you're probably going to get more perks. But I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to type in something different. So in this case, I am going to put in London because I'm from London. I've not been there for a while, but I'm going to type in London, hit enter. You can see the search is going. And now we've got all these cool images of London that we could use on our website. So again, similar kind of deal. You can download it direct. You can look at the creator. You could, if you wanted to, click on the image to get more information. And then from here, if you click on the drop down, you can choose the actual size of the file that you would like to download. And again, I'd probably go for small and download that. If you've got a need to download a large or medium file, then of course go for it. It's entirely up to you. We can close that off. Pexels is really, really good. You'll often find a lot more professional looking photographs than Pixabay, but Pixabay will also have a bunch of different kinds of things that you can use. And again, you've got videos as well. So if we click on videos and you want to use some of these videos for B-roll footage inside of your YouTube video. Maybe you're talking about London, but you just don't want to be on camera all the time. You want to switch to some B-roll footage. You've got some really cool stuff here. You can play the video, you can have a look, and then you can download it if you want to. A very similar site to Pexels is Unsplash, and this works in a very, very similar way. So you can type in something in here. You've got some tabs up here that you could potentially use to narrow your search, but I want to type it. Let's type in juice, something really random, and we'll see if we can get some nice pictures of juice. Maybe you've got a blog that's on healthy living, healthy lifestyle, weight loss, and look, we've got some really cool images here that we can use, and it really works the same way. A lot of these things, you know, they have a very similar thing. Like that's opened up into an iStock photo. So I'm going to close off that tab. Maybe these, okay, so these are the ones that were iStock, which means you can get a discount, but they're not free. So I want to come down to do one of these instead. So again, I could download it here, or I could click on the image and get a little bit more information about the file, the author. And again, it really works in the same way as the other website. So I don't have to go through the whole process once more. This image has been downloaded 18,063 times. So that also means that potentially the image is going to be on a bunch of other websites as well. So if you wanted to have a unique image, then you may need to actually take a photograph yourself, or you may need to go to one of those sites where you do need to pay. But for most people, this is going to be more than enough. It's a nice looking photo, in my opinion. It does the job. This one's been viewed 6 million times. It was uploaded in 2019. So this is also good. If you're a photographer and you want to get more eyeballs on your work, you can actually submit your photos to a lot of these sites. Not only can you get some credit, a lot of people will link back to you, but some of these sites you can actually get paid as well. This is another one. It's run by Shopify, which is an e-commerce store. It's burst.shopify.com. Let me just close off this little thing here. And again, it all works in a similar way. If you want to become a contributor, you can upload your photos, potentially earn a nice little side income. But if you want to get stock photos, as you can see here, for websites and commercial use, check out shopify.com or burst.shopify.com. So what should we put in here? I'm trying to think of something interesting to put in. Well, it's not particularly interesting, but I could just type in the keyword coffee and see if there are any nice looking coffee images. I could use these again however I wanted, and you don't have to use them just on your blog or website. You can use these as part of a YouTube thumbnail. You can use these on pretty much wherever you want, really. Taking a little while to load up. So you can see some of these are okay, some of these are nothing special. But let's see, you can download the high resolution, the low resolution image, and you can just, you know, scan this site and see if any of these are something that would match what you're trying to do. And again, if I was to write an authority post on something related to coffee, having some of these images, once I ran them through tiny PNG to make sure the file size was good, that's something I could use. So again, there are other sites out there that you could check out, but I wanted to draw these to your attention. If you can't find anything because your niche is very narrow, like I said, if it was medical related, there are certain niches where you may have trouble finding images that you can use. Then in that case, you're either going to have to take the pictures yourself on your smartphone, upload them to, you know, the cloud and then use them that way, or you're going to have to pay a little bit of money, and there are paid sites out there. But okay, so this is probably the best paid site out there. Now this is all in Japanese because I'm based in Japan, so I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom first of all and just change the language. So let's see if we can switch this to English. Hopefully that will make it easier for everybody to understand. There we go. iStock by Getty Images. So we've got videos, we've got photos, and we've got illustrations. Now let me just click on the pricing. It can be quite expensive if you use it a lot, but if you use it every now and then, you can get this pay-as-you-go section. But you know, they advocate that you get their subscription package. So if we come down here, we've got 3,000 yen, and I'll show you what that is in dollars in a second, for basic. So we get 10 images every month, and we're going to spend 3,000 yen. If we want to get premium images, then 8,400 yen per month. And if you want to get everything, you know, premium and videos as well, you have to pay 10,870 yen per month. So let me go over to Google and let's just come back here and double check. So that was, the cheapest is 3,000 yen per month. So over here at Google, what's 3,000 yen? 3,000 yen to US dollars equals, oh, just popped up, didn't it? $26.27. Let's say $26. That might go up and down depending on the exchange rate. So you're looking at $26 a month to get 10 images. But again, that's the annual plan. If you pay every single month, then you've got to pay a little bit extra. So they're kind of making it cheaper for you to pay for a year. So 4,000 yen, if you just wanted to pay for 1 month, let me just come up here and do 4,000 yen. And we'll see what 4,000 yen is. Obviously going to be a little bit more, 35 bucks. So you're looking at 35 bucks a month if you want to get 10 images. Only you really know if that is a viable option for you or not. So let's come to this little magnifying glass and let's just check something different. So let me just go and check, I'll do Japan again and hit enter. I've got images selected by default, so we can see the images that are available to us. These are going to be rarer ones in the fact that they're not going to be on a bunch of other people's sites. So this is all. If we want to search by price, we'll want to go here. So let me just kind of show you what we've got. We've got some, you know, okay images. They don't look too brilliant there. Let's click on Essentials. We'll get the cheapest ones. Okay, so again, those were the cheapest ones. Let's click on Signature and see. Okay, so these ones are a little bit more expensive. So let's pretend, I don't know, we like this one. Let's click on this and we'll see what the damage is going to be. It's pedestrians crossing the street. Shibuya is a really famous crossing in central Tokyo. It's you may not know it if you don't know much about Japan, but there's tons and tons of people every day, and it's become a kind of tourist destination. So I've got to pay 3,400 yen just for this image if I want to buy this image alone. So it probably does make sense to get a subscription, but then when you get a subscription, while you can cancel at any time, you are kind of tied in to paying a certain amount every single month. So it's my personal opinion that most of the stuff can be found for free. It's really going to be dependent on the niche that you are in as to whether or not you're going to have to venture into places such as iStock and maybe invest a little bit of money so that you've got images for your articles or for whatever it is you want to do. Hope this video is useful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you shortly. Take care.